Well, I did my non-spoiler review, and now I feel like I have to defend why I gave it a B+. Time to talk about my spoilers. Let's get to it. What's going on, everyone? Welcome to a brand new spoiler-filled review for Joker. This is the brand new Joaquin Phoenix film and directed by Todd Phillips, of course. And now I already did my non-spoiler review, so if you're here and before I get into any full spoiler details, make sure to go up above or down below to check out that non-spoiler review. And make sure to hit that like and subscribe button because I do tons of early movie reviews and geeky content on a daily basis over here. And tomorrow I will be ranking every single actor who has ever played the Joker over on this channel. That's going to be a lot of fun. I actually had a lot of fun filming that video. No spoilers, of course, for that video yet. I'm very excited to talk about this film in general in full spoiler details. Now, I'm not going to go over the whole thing. I'm not going to recap every single bit of the film, but I am going to go into certain details of what I want to talk about. And pretty much, in a sense, I feel like I have to defend why I gave this film a B+, because I'm getting comments and hatred from people going, how dare you give it a B+? This is my thing, and I'm just going to start off from the basics. I have my notes right in front of me. What I expected from this film is exactly what I got from it. I got a fantastic, if not one of the best performances I've ever seen from Joaquin Phoenix in this film. This guy transformed into Arthur Fleck, and especially as the Joker. He transformed into this guy who has many mental illnesses, many fucked up things that have happened to him in the past, and in general, many deep and dark, sinister things that are reaching inside of him that in a sense make people very uncomfortable to watch, because at times you feel sympathy for him, but also at the same time you feel very much hatred for him. Very weird parallel that you feel throughout this whole entire film. I expected to get a very gritty character study of the Joker, and that's exactly what I got, which I can say. I loved his performance, and I thought the movie was really good. Maybe this will change once I see it on a second viewing when I get to check it out on Sunday in 35mm, that is another thing that I messed up. I said 75mm, I meant 35mm. Can you guys understand that I'm human and I'm doing this for fun? I'm just joking. Like, most people who are going to watch this spoiler review anyways aren't going to be people that watch my non-spoiler. They're going to watch this because they're friends of the channel. Make sure, again, to hit that like and subscribe button if you are new here. And also comment down below and let me know your guys' thoughts on the Joker. Let me know what your favorite part was, some of your favorite spoiler-filled memories of it, and in general, what DC character should get this treatment next. I'm going Poison Ivy. A revenge thriller of Poison Ivy, I'm all in for. Like I said, I loved his performance, and I thought the film was really good. Liked it. I liked the film. I had some issues with it, and we'll kind of get to that in a second. Phoenix's performance is fantastic, and this is where we're going to get into those spoiler details. So again, if you haven't checked out this film, be wary. His first kill. On the subway, he can't control his laughter. These guys come up, start beating the shit out of him, and in that same day, he lost his job because he brought a gun to a child hospital, which that scene was hilarious. Like, that dark humor scene, he's dancing and he's having fun, and a gun drops out, and he goes, "Ah!" He screams. It was very funny. I actually really like that scene. It's probably one of my favorite scenes in there. Gets fired for it, of course, goes on the subway. The guys are beating the shit out of him and ends up pulling the gun out and shooting them, all three of them, and killing them. Now, one of them got away, starts chasing him, hunts him, kills him. End of discussion. That's where it goes. And that first kill, I knew that was going to happen, and that's kind of where I go to the script and talking about my cons with it. I think the script is very predictable. That's just the truth. I think the script is very predictable. Every single time it was building up to a moment, I knew exactly how it was going to go down. And even from the beginning of the film, comes a certain segment when he goes on to the Robert De Niro's show. And Robert De Niro earlier on made fun of him from a live video that he was at one of his stand-up clubs. And he made fun of him, and he goes on, and I'm like, I kind of know where this is going to go. He's going to end up killing him. But we'll talk more about that in a second. Kind of where the script issues went to. I kind of felt like it was a little bit predictable, and at times kind of got a little bit repetitive when it's kind of getting to his instincts. Okay, this person's going to screw him over. Okay, he's either going to harm him or kill him in some certain way. And that's kind of where we also go. And then it kind of has some callbacks to, of course, King of Comedy or Taxi Driver. It actually has a very same story basis idea from those films, and I personally think that's not a bad thing to have, but I also think they relied a little bit too much on that at times. One of the things they really relied on from that was a King of Comedy thing, was when him and Zazie Beetz. They showed them going on little dates, having them little swirls, and none of that was true. None of that was absolutely true. And I thought it from the beginning. I'm like, none of this is true. Like, this is a straight up vision, and it was just him and his delusions all thinking that. And I mean, it's very heartbreaking when that scene happens. it broke my heart a lot, and I thought Zazie Beetz was actually pretty good in the performance that she was given. And again, Phoenix just nails it in those when he walks into her apartment and he's sitting down and she comes out all scared and she's like, your name's Arthur, right? You're in the wrong apartment. And then the realization for the audience, I mean, for people who didn't see that coming up, were like shockingly. And I think maybe a lot of it is because I've seen King of Comedy and I've seen Taxi Driver. Maybe that's kind of where I just felt with the script, is that I feel like I've seen it all before. I might be in the minority. You guys might love that they did that, and I'm so happy you did. And again, maybe on another viewing for me, I might appreciate that a bit more. But still, I think a B+ is a pretty damn good score. I have to defend it because people freak out at me. I've been practicing my Joker laugh, if you can't tell. And of course, then we move on to the next thing. He goes to the Arkham Asylum, gets some old segments on his mother because he went over to Thomas Wayne's house. He finds out that he's not Thomas Wayne's son, which was the whole big controversy. I remember before this, I actually heard that he was probably going to be his son, and then it turned out he wasn't. It was all a delusion from this lady, and that she was just crazy, and that she actually ended up abusing him, making him go crazy, goes to the hospital that his mom's at, and ends up killing her with a pillow. And from there, that is kind of where the Joker is reborn. That's kind of where this film really started going down, because it goes to Wayne Manor. He meets Bruce Wayne. He does some cool little clown stuff with him. Then a bodyguard comes up, pushes him away as he chokes him out. All this sorts of stuff kind of just builds up to this point. Kills his mom, goes home, dyes his hair green, doing the whole dancing movement. And again, there's kind of small moments in there, but again, I don't really need to recap that. If you saw the movie, you know what it is. If you haven't seen the movie and you're still watching this, you probably should go check out the movie. But of course, his old clown buddies that he used to work with hear about that he got fired for the gun, and of course that his mom died. Is this big guy who actually gave him the gun and pretty much in a sense blamed Arthur for it all. Go over, bring him in a bottle, and the guy's like, hey, the police came to me. Did you say anything about me? And Arthur just starts laughing and then ends up killing him. And every single kill in here is just so gory, so gritty, and in general, I loved how they went for all the kills. The ones on the subway, the way he kills his mom, and especially this guy. We're all really uncomfortable to watch, especially the mother one. The way that Todd Phillips directed that scene was excellent. The funniest thing about the scene was when Arthur, his little friend in the corner, is like all scared. He's like, Arthur, what are you doing, Arthur? And he's like, you can go. I'm not going to kill you. The most brilliant part actually about the sequence wasn't just the guy walking up trying to open the lock, but he's too small and he can't. So Arthur goes up, kisses him on the forehead, and says, goodbye. The best thing was how Arthur didn't have really any of the Joker makeup on. He just had a white face, and the blood splattering on him had some of the coolest effects actually in this whole entire scene. The coolest thing about this movie, in fact, is if you really notice a lot of things about Arthur is when he's behind the mask, when he's behind that Joker makeup, he is the most comfortable that he's ever been. And you feel that as he's going on, especially in the beginning when he's in the whole clown get up, you can see that he's comfortable, but at the same time when people start disowning him and crapping on him, he's not. But as the movie progresses and he puts on that makeup more, he feels like that is truly himself and who he is to become. Especially as people start to worship this guy, the Joker, and what he did on the subway train, people start kind of recognizing him, and Arthur wants that. He wants that recognition. It shows how his moods truly change, his mood swings, his emotions, and everything that goes around him. There are so many memorable moments inside this film, and one of my favorite things goes about one of the main scenes. One of those things actually goes about one of the main things he says, I used to think that my life was a tragedy, but now I realize it's actually a comedy. And again, the one thing that I love about this film is what this film has to say about mental illness. I think there will be people, again, who think it's advocating for people to be inspired by this, but I wouldn't say so at all. I think this film is advocating for us to actually take charge of certain things of people with mental illness. I think a lot of people are not healthy, and in this society, how we treat people, how we would treat people like Arthur, who in general, people are disowning him, calling him an idiot, calling him stupid, how no one likes him, and just in general, just because he's different. And that's not something we should do. And that's what brings me to my favorite sequence in the whole entire film, which comes down to the monologue scene that's on Murray's live television show. As he's on there, he gets brought on as the Joker, and he's having this whole talk with Robert De Niro's character Murray. He's having this discussion with him, and you can totally tell he's more comfortable. This is him as the full-fledged Joker. He's embracing the name the Joker, and especially Murray gave him that name, calling him the Joker when he was making fun of his stand-up set. And as it's going on, he's telling some horrible stand-up jokes that are not funny, and he ends up telling Murray, hey, yeah, I killed those people on the subway. And Murray thinks it's a joke, and he's like, no, I'm not joking. I really killed those people. He's embracing this. He's opening it up. And then he tells Murray a knock-knock joke and ends up shooting him right in the head. Right on live television. And this comes to be one of the strongest moments of the film. But right before that, it was his monologue opening up to the people, talking about how people treated him, how the mental illness. And we all know the Oscars are going to play that sequence. Like that's the moment that's going to get, like when they're going through all the clips, that's the one. And he was superb in there. I loved what Phoenix did in that performance. And in general, that was like the one monologue sequence that I adored. And I can't wait to rewatch that sequence over and over and over because I love what Phoenix did. And I love what he put into that character because, again, I liked the film, and I think my biggest issue came down to the script kind of following the same template as Taxi Driver or King of Comedy at times, maybe a little bit too much, some repetition in there. I just had to mention that because I think that will be an issue for some people. It was an issue for my friend who had actually come with me as well, and I think this film actually, in time, the rating will go up for me. I think I was so hyped going into this that I tried to check it out the door, and I still walked out a little bit, like, not even disappointed, just, I knew what I got. But I wanted just a bit more from that script, and I really have to say, I don't think if Phoenix's performance was top tier like it was in this film, I couldn't say that the film would be this good, or even if they had gotten another actor. I think the film still would have been good, because the script is good. I've just seen it before, and I think Phoenix elevated every single one of those materials. Also, if we're talking about one more nitpick, the scene when he's dancing on the stairs, I didn't like the musical choice they did for that. Like, I liked it, but at the same time, I love the one that they did in the trailers. Maybe it's just because I've seen that moment so many damn times. And actually, for fun, if you guys didn't know, I actually dressed as him as the Joker. I wore his exact suit to the screening of this, and I actually did a whole dancing number too. So let's roll that clip. Alright, give you my final thoughts on this whole spoiler talk. Make sure again to hit that like and subscribe button. Comment down below, let me know what your guys' thoughts on the Joker. And of course, comment down below and let me know what your favorite moment from this film was. Let's discuss it down below. And thank you guys again so much for watching this. And thank you to all my Patreon supporters. Really, if I had to change anything, it would kind of be just the middle of the film. I felt like that repetitive nature and some of the stuff that kind of just goes back to King Comedy and Taxi Driver is a little bit too on the nose. But still, it doesn't take away from how brilliant this film was. This is still a really good movie that with a performance that I fantastically fucking loved. And I loved Phoenix in here. He's my favorite actor working today. I love what Todd Phillips directed in this film. It's some of the strongest directing of the year. The score is fantastic. The cinematography is excellent. And really overall, this is a great film that many people are going to see. I don't know if I could see it personally getting Best Picture on my book, but I still think that it is a lock for Best Actor. I would be shocked if it doesn't. The quotes are fantastic. The blood is insanely there, but it's not that gritty to the point where it kind of discourages you, but just there. This film feels so realistic. And that's what I love about it. It feels real. The ending, I loved. I loved how this film felt like a classic movie, especially from the opening intro of the logo to the literally the ending of him walking out of the psychiatric after killing the last therapist, walking out with blood on his feet, and it just comes up as the end. Total classic Hollywood ending. I love that type of stuff. In general, my thoughts on this is I loved it. I loved his performance, and I thought the film was really good. I loved aspects of this film. I would have changed a couple things to really tinker this. Is it a masterpiece? Maybe in time it'll kind of warm up to me on that once I see it again, and I can't wait to see it on 35mm. Let me know, guys, how much you guys are going to be seeing this in theaters as well. I'm curious how many times you guys are going to be checking this out. I'm probably planning on seeing it at least 2 more times. I'm really looking forward to this film. I love the Joker. I love Joaquin Phoenix's interpretation, and I can't wait for you guys to check out that ranking of all the Jokers to find out where Phoenix ends up on there. Thank you guys again so much for clicking on this video. You guys are seriously all the best. And again, hit that like and subscribe button, comment down below, and as for right now, my rating would still remain at a B+, but easily I think I could get it up to an A-. I just need to see it one more time to kind of formulate. It is in my top 10 for the year for now, and I'm actually I've seen 111 films now, so that's pretty cool. Planning on trying to get at least 200. Hopefully, fingers crossed, lots of films coming out for the rest of the year. Again, thank you so much for clicking on this video, and of course, until next time, I just had to do it one more time. Stay classy.